Now the first thing I want to cover are apps. Like I said before, Android is the most popular mobile operating system on the planet. Number one, more popular than iOS, more popular than BlackBerry, more popular than WebOS, more popular than Windows Phone 7, more popular than Symbian, more popular than all of them. So you have a large installed base who know how to use this, and what goes along with a large install base is that you have a lot of apps to choose from here. So in the battle of the apps, there's a lot more apps on Android than there are on the HP TouchPad. If you look at the app catalog, the HP app catalog on a WebOS device, it is lacking. You get a lot more options on Android. Now I've said it before, I'm not really an app guy. I'm not a person who uses a lot of apps. I have a certain select few apps that I generally use on a regular basis. So it's not so much of a big deal, an app store for me, but the edge definitely does go to Android over here because you have your basic apps. Like I have basic things that I use on my Android phone or even on this device here, like Shazam, like Words with Friends, like a stock app. Things that are useful in a tablet form factor, you're definitely going to be able to get more of that on Android than you will on the HP TouchPad. That's probably one of the weakest points right now that you're going to find on WebOS is their app catalog. Now the HP TouchPad allows you to take screenshots. All you have to do is press the home button down here and the power button at the same time, and you get a screenshot right there. With the Android tablet, as of right now, you can't do it. I don't know of a way that you can actually do a screenshot with an Android device at this moment. It would be nice if you could do it. It's not a real big deal, but it's just something I thought I'd mention. Now I'm just going to backtrack a little bit here. I'm going to just cover some of the features on the tablet itself, the physical features. On the HP TouchPad you have, like I covered before, your camera, your power button and whatnot, but you only have one port down here, and that's basically your USB port, okay? On the Android tablet here, the Motorola XOOM, you have a mini HDMI out, you have a mini USB, you also have an area for the LTE 4G SIM card, and you also have an area for a micro SD card to be put in here as well. Both devices have a 3.5mm headphone jack, and you have your volume rocker over here on this device. On the Motorola XOOM, you have your volume rocker right here on top. Okay, so we're going to try and demonstrate the accelerometer on both devices and see which one is faster. So let's see if I can do this here. Stagger them here, and HP TouchPad, HP TouchPad, HP TouchPad, HP TouchPad. So the HP TouchPad has a faster accelerometer on it. Now a lot of you have pointed out in previous videos that that might be by design because you don't want the tablet switching orientations on you when you're just maybe leaning it to the side, and you don't necessarily want that. I've found quite a few times that I have changed the orientation on here when I didn't want to. And I've also found on the XOOM here that I've changed the orientation and it took a little bit longer than I wanted it to change it. So either I can't be pleased, apparently, or there's somewhere in between the two, which is the sweet spot. I haven't figured it out yet. Now there are a couple of things you're going to find on Android Honeycomb that you're not going to find on WebOS. And the first of which, like I touched on earlier, is that Android is set up most like a computer, most like a desktop or most like a laptop computer. You have shortcuts that you can put on your home screen here, and you also have the availability to put widgets on there. So your actual user interface on Android, like most things with Android, is more customizable than anything else you're going to find out there. So if that's important to you, then definitely the edge goes to Android on that. Now, chances are you're going to get two people with two Android devices, and they're going to look totally different. Like I've arranged this around my wallpaper here. I've arranged these icons here that they're not going to infringe on this wallpaper no matter how far I swipe or what I do. And I can put these icons wherever I want. I can use whatever wallpaper I want on it. Whereas WebOS, you have a basic look to it, and it's a standard look. So there's not much customization other than your quick launch bar here. You can change these icons, these shortcuts down here, to whatever you want them to be. So you have more customization over here, and that's really a hallmark of Android. Something else are live wallpapers. On Android you have them. On any other tablet you can get out there right now, you do not have them. So Android pretty much has cornered the market on live wallpapers. Let me click over to one right now and just bring one up just to show you what it looks like. Let's try Hypno Live here. So there you go. That can be your desktop. If you like live wallpapers, then Android is your only option for that. Also, widgets, you're only going to find them on Android right now. You're not going to find them on WebOS. Now, the default map application on each device, you have obviously Google Maps over here on your Android device, and you have Bing Maps over here on your HP TouchPad. Depends on what your preference is. A lot of people find Google Maps superior. I'm one of those people, so I actually prefer the Google Maps on here. But again, the HP TouchPad, if you can find it on the web, you can find it on the touchpad. So you can go and use Google Maps on that as well. It's just a little more integrated with this device as you would expect. Now, going in line with Google, obviously, you have your Google search up here. Now, you can search anything that you want, whether it be on the tablet or online. You can click on this, type in whatever you want, and it will search the device, or like I said, online. Very similarly, the HP TouchPad has a Just Type area up here, so you would click on that and type whatever you want. Now, right here we have both keyboards brought up. You have your stock Android keyboard over here, and you have your stock HP TouchPad keyboard over here. I feel that the HP TouchPad keyboard is superior to any keyboard right now on any tablet. Mostly because of a very simple thing. You have your numbers up here above your letters. You don't have to switch to an alternate keyboard to do that. You can have all your numbers here, so if you have a password that has numbers in it or a username, it's very easy and quick to type. You also have the option of switching up the size of the keyboard. Make it large, make it small, or make it extra small, whatever you want to do. So the keyboard over here on the HP TouchPad is superior to the Motorola XOOM. But the search functionality, as you might expect because Google's a search company, is superior over here. Not only can you type in whatever you want and it's going to search your local device or online, but you can actually speak it in. So you can use the microphone here to look up anything that you want. Let's try one out right now. HP TouchPad. There we go. Look up the HP TouchPad just by voice, which is very cool. Let's do the same over here. So there you go. So while we're here, why don't we check out the pinch to zoom on both devices. And try and do this at the same time here. Seems a little bit more responsive over on the Motorola XOOM tablet. There seems to be somewhat of a slight lag over here on the HP TouchPad with the pinch to zoom. So I definitely have to give the edge over here to the Motorola XOOM. Okay, now we're going to look up a couple of things, a couple of items on here, and see which one is quicker. So let's click up here. Now the cool thing on both devices is that they both have this browser bar up here, which you can use to put an address in, a URL, or you could actually just put a search term in there. So I really like that on both devices, and I think that's the way all browsers should be, even though all browsers aren't that way right now. So let's look up a search term here. Let's look up HP Pre. Now you'll notice that the typing on here is kind of muted. You can tell when you're typing, but it's very, very quiet. Over here it's a little louder. So we're going to try and look up HP Pre at the same time and see which device pulls it up faster. Very close, very close. Pretty much spot on with each other. Both loaded up to the page at the same time. And let's try another one. Let's look up Asus Transformer. Okay, let's hit enter at the same time here. Zoom is quicker on that one. The HP TouchPad has still got the status bar going. Okay, so we had a winner over here. All right, let's actually pull up a web page now and see which one does it quicker. We're going to pick the first one, which is the Asus website, and we're going to click on them both at the same time. Motorola XOOM pulled it up quicker. HP TouchPad still working over here. And there we go. Just finished. Even though it finished, it didn't bring up the image here, which is interesting. Okay, so it looks a little bit different. A little bit different colors going on here. A little more deep colors actually over here. This is a little more washed out actually, which is interesting. So that is the Asus page on the Asus Transformer, and this one just keeps going. Okay. Now the interesting thing here over on the HP TouchPad, you have a little bit more effects on it. You have a bounce effect. You can pull it to its extremes, bounce this way or even to the side, which is unique to this tablet. This one is just a basic up and down, and it stops when you're done. So the Zoom appears to be quicker, even though this has a higher clocked processor in it. So far for web browsing, the Zoom seems to be a little bit quicker. Let's look up another search term. Now, by the way, I could be doing this search term by voice on the Motorola XOOM. Let's look up NVIDIA Kal-El. Alright, let's search at the same time here. Zoom is done first. HP TouchPad still working. So the Zoom is quicker on the searches than the HP TouchPad. I think that's fairly conclusive. Okay, now, in case you don't know what Kal-El is the next generation of the Tegra processors. So there's Tegra 2 in this device here. Tegra 3 is the Kal-El. Kal-El is the code name for it. And it's actually a quad-core processor. This is a dual-core processor. Kal-El is a quad-core processor, and it's coming out later this year. And it's going to be used in actually Android Ice Cream Sandwich, which is the next iteration of Android. It's going to be used in Android Ice Cream Sandwich tablets.